Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel where we meticulously unravel the intricate tapestry of the British royal family. Today, we delve into a truly historic and frankly unprecedented development, the definitive final judgment handed down by King Charles III regarding his younger brother, the former Duke of York. This is a story of ultimate censure, a loss of status so profound it reshapes the very landscape of the modern monarchy. Before we proceed with the weighty details of this royal decree, please take a moment to show your support. Do remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel for the deepest dives into royal affairs, and ring that notification bell so you never miss one of our essential updates. The news that has reverberated across the globe confirms a decisive and, frankly, brutal move by the reigning monarch. King Charles has formally and irrevocably stripped Prince Andrew of every remaining vestige of his royal titles, styles, and military honors. This action marks one of the most significant and rare displays of internal discipline exercised by the sovereign in modern history, drawing a thick, uncrossable line under years of relentless public controversy. Buckingham Palace itself delivered the official confirmation, a statement heavy with implication. The Duke of York, the man who once held the prestigious title associated with the second son of the monarch, will now be known simply by his personal name, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. This singular change, the erasure of the Duke of York title, is not merely bureaucratic. It is a profound symbolic demotion, reducing him from a high-ranking royal personage to a private citizen bearing the family name. But the punitive measures extend far beyond a change in nomenclature. Perhaps the most immediate and tangible consequence of this decisive decree involves his residential status. Andrew is being compelled to vacate his long-time, sprawling residence, the Royal Lodge, and relocate to alternative private accommodation. This specific decision regarding Royal Lodge comes after months, if not years, of mounting public resentment and unrelenting pressure. The optics of Andrew maintaining residency within the 30-room Grade 2 listed mansion, a property steeped in royal history and located within Windsor Great Park, had become utterly untenable for the crown. For those unfamiliar with the details, Royal Lodge is not just a house. It is a sprawling estate that served as the home of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, until her passing in 2002. Andrew had maintained occupancy under a highly favorable arrangement, a lease reportedly secured for a mere peppercorn rate. This term refers to a nominal, almost symbolic rent, a financial arrangement that allowed him to live in luxurious, publicly maintained splendor while simultaneously being a non-working royal facing severe allegations. The public outrage over the perceived misuse of such a privileged asset was a major driving force behind the king's final decision. The palace statement explicitly laid out the severity of the measures. His Majesty has today initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private accommodation. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. It is crucial to note the inclusion of that final clause. The king is making it clear that regardless of Andrew's persistent denials concerning the allegations that fueled this entire scandal, specifically his association with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, the reputational damage and the requirement for institutional clarity demand these severe actions. The monarchy under Charles III is signaling that maintaining public trust outweighs familial sentiment. Now, while the list of losses is immense, titles, military ranks, public duties, and his magnificent home, a curious anomaly remains. Despite the wholesale stripping of his public identity, Andrew retains two specific royal privileges, relics of his birthright that even the sovereign cannot simply erase through decree. Firstly, Andrew remains firmly entrenched in the line of succession to the British throne. His position is derived from his birth as the son of the late Queen Elizabeth II, a constitutional fact that is not dependent on titles or public favor. He currently holds the 8th position in this sacred line. Let us review the current order. Ahead of him stand Prince William, the Prince of Wales, followed by William's children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Then comes Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and his children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Andrew sits directly behind Lilibet, confirming that while his public role is non-existent, his biological link to the crown remains constitutionally intact. Secondly, and perhaps more technically fascinating, he retains the designation of a Counselor of State. This role is a constitutional mechanism of profound importance. Counselors of State are appointed to act on behalf of the monarch should the sovereign be temporarily incapacitated, traveling abroad, or otherwise unavailable to perform their official duties. These duties typically involve significant administrative tasks such as attending Privy Council meetings, which are essential for government operations, and signing official documents including royal proclamations and letters patent. However, this remaining privilege is rendered almost entirely moot by a recent and highly specific piece of legislation. The Counselors of State Act of 2022 was specifically enacted to address the very issue Andrew and Prince Harry presented: non-working members holding a key constitutional role. The 2022 law established a clear boundary, explicitly preventing non-working members of the royal family from being called upon to execute the responsibilities of a Counselor of State. This legislative amendment effectively bars both Andrew and Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, from ever being required to perform these official duties, ensuring that the critical function of temporarily representing the sovereign falls only to those actively serving the crown. The royal family's official website further solidifies this practical exclusion, stating with crystalline clarity, "In practice, only working members of the royal family are called upon to act as counselors of state." This ensures that, while Andrew technically holds the designation, the role is functionally vacant for him, stripped of all operational meaning. It is important to understand the gravity of the duties that counselors of state perform. While they can sign routine documents, key constitutional powers, such as creating peers, dissolving parliament, or giving royal assent to bills, cannot, under any circumstances, be delegated. Therefore, the role requires individuals who are trusted, available, and actively engaged in the machinery of state. Andrew's removal from this practical capacity is a necessary safeguard for the stability of the monarchy. The widespread support for this move, particularly among the highest echelons of the royal family, underscores its necessity. Senior royals, including Prince William, the heir to the throne, have reportedly thrown their full weight behind the king's decision. This unified front signals that the crown is prioritizing institutional integrity and public perception over internal family discomfort. For years, the controversy surrounding Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell had cast a long, dark shadow over the entire institution, necessitating this definitive break. Now, let us turn to the logistics of Andrew's forced relocation. The surrender of the Royal Lodge lease is a complex legal matter, given the financial and emotional investment Andrew and his family had in the property. Where will Andrew, now simply Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, go? He will relocate to a private residence situated on the King's vast Sandringham estate in Norfolk. Sandringham, one of the Crown's most cherished private estates, offers the necessary security and privacy, yet the accommodation provided will be significantly scaled back from the grandeur of Royal Lodge. Crucially, the financial burden of this new arrangement has been handled with careful public relations in mind. His accommodation and all associated expenses will be personally funded by King Charles III. This is a vital detail, as it ensures that Andrew's continued living costs are separated entirely from the sovereign grant or any public funds. The king is essentially absorbing the cost of his brother's existence as a private expense, severing the financial link that had so incensed the British taxpayer. This move achieves a critical level of fiscal transparency and accountability, something the Crown desperately needs to maintain. However, this personal funding arrangement does not extend to everyone who resided at Royal Lodge. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, who had continued to live with Andrew at the sprawling estate despite their divorce, a remarkable and often commented upon domestic arrangement, will not be rehoused by King Charles. While the nature of her future living situation is private, this distinction confirms that the king's financial support is strictly limited to his brother. Ferguson's connection to the main royal machinery is even more tenuous than Andrew's, and she must now secure her own alternative arrangements. The move to Sandringham marks a final, dramatic shift in Andrew's life. From being a high-flying duke, a war hero, and a senior working royal, he has been relegated to a quiet, isolated existence on a distant corner of a royal estate, living under the financial shadow and discretion of his elder brother, the king. This entire sequence of events represents more than just a family disagreement. It is a constitutional reckoning. The king has shown his willingness to use the full extent of his authority to protect the dignity and future viability of the monarchy. By stripping Andrew of his titles and forcing his removal from Royal Lodge, Charles III has demonstrated a commitment to modernization and accountability that many observers believed was long overdue. The fact that this was formalized despite Andrew's continued insistence on his innocence highlights the difference between judicial findings and the court of public opinion, which the monarchy must ultimately serve. The royal family cannot afford to carry the weight of this controversy any longer. In essence, the king has performed a necessary excision. The Duke of York is gone. Only Andrew Mountbatten Windsor remains, a private individual, constitutionally powerless, and financially reliant on the personal generosity of the sovereign. This chapter of royal history, marked by scandal and deep embarrassment, is now officially closed through this decisive action. This event certainly gives us much to reflect upon regarding the power dynamics within the royal family, and the absolute necessity for the monarchy to remain above reproach in the eyes of the public. The precedent set here is momentous, confirming that birthright alone is no longer sufficient protection against the demands of public integrity. We have witnessed a truly remarkable moment in the reign of King Charles III, a moment where the personal cost of duty was paid in the currency of familial ties. We want to hear your thoughts on this monumental decision. Do you believe King Charles went far enough, or do you think Andrew should have been stripped of his place in the line of succession as well? What does this move signal about the future direction of the monarchy under Charles III? Please share your opinions and insights in the comments section below. Your participation fuels these crucial discussions. Don't forget once again to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us for our next celebrity update, where we continue to explore the fascinating and often dramatic world of the British royal family. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.